The Nomad of Soweto is here.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Bobo.
Njabut.
Ngibiza ngalisekazi manje ngibiza ngejardi. Yabona ngikhipha even number.
Yeah.
Ekhaya bambiza Bobo.
Kahle. Stratini sibobozini.
And now he's known as Bob the Stylist, revered, respected, the go-to when it comes to if you want your window, if you want to look good, if you want to collaborate with somebody who understands what the street's like and where the future is fashion-wise, this is your guy.
Yes, sir.
That's an amazing thing to have on your head, isn't it?
Being able to style people.
To people to call you up and say, Bob, man, we need your eye here.
It is. And funny thing is that when I told my mom because I used to work at a call center.
Oh, okay.
Then I'm just to know in terms of I'm going to pursue being a stylist, a fashion stylist, and she didn't have an idea what being a stylist entails,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And mom to know and she looked at me like
Yes,
but with time she then saw of my magazine, I've styled Destiny magazine, I've done my covers and now it made sense to her, But it's a beautiful gift, because you turn to how I work is that I don't change people, I don't impose ideas, but what I do is that I unearth what's already inside you, because dressing up is a language. And some people are not articulate when it comes to impahla. I know, I'm not good with words, but I'm good with impahla. So I'm able to transfer or unearth what's already inside you.
What do you mean inside you? So therefore, before you style anyone's, you'll
I need to get an understanding of what do you like, the type of lifestyle, the type of person that you are. Then unearth that through clothing. Because colors talk, right? Fabric, patterns. When you assemble that look, it says a lot about you. Hence, you'd hear abantu saying, dressing up is a form of a good mannerism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you get to say who you are without even talking, because we are visual people.
True.
We see that and we already create ideas of who you are.
Are you telling me that I can call Bob the Stylist and say, Mfo, I need you to sort out my wardrobe?
Yeah. Money budget, sure.
Yeah. I know. Let's look at that. What did you lot to make this weekend? Great. So are you saying that I can then reach out to Bob and say, I need you to style me?
Yeah.
And you can do that for someone?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. And it's a service you provide?
So it's a service that I used to provide, right? Right now, I've kind of put that on the side for now because I'm focusing on building Boys of Soweto, the clothing line, yeah.
Now, let's go back to you being the Nomad of Soweto. You talk about, through most of your interviews, how your family moved around.
Yeah.
From one section of Soweto to the other. And this, when you then had your own house, you say this opened you up to what the power of having your own residence is about. Tell me more about that, because I find that fascinating. What does that mean?
I don't know where you got that.
I read.
All right. You've done your research. So I think just having your own address as the outie, it does mean a lot. But for me now, what I value about just moving around from the 80s until 1999 when we moved to Protea Clan, because I got to understand Amakasi, there's a different mentality. Zola, Protea.
Sure.
It's Soweto, but the mindset is different.
Yeah.
So I have an understanding of the mindsets throughout Makas.
Yeah.
So and then that makes me a certified Boys of Soweto.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you say when you are, because Bentalema back room, most of the time,
yes,
right?
Sir.
You say there's a mentality about that versus being the landlord.
And which is, it will come from a space that you reside in, right? There's complexities. Or the owner of the house and the backyard dweller, it doesn't belong to you. Right, it doesn't belong to you. You don't have what is yours. And so when my sister bought us a house in 1999, it kind of opened my world really to moving from a snake park to a Protea Clan.
Yeah.
Different lifestyle. and my interest ahlukile. While in supplement a snake park,
Sure.
You're not exposed to a lot. So my escape was Itiski. And that's what we had.
Yeah.
There were a few guys or a few kids with the Segas and then TV games.
Yes.
So you'd spend most of your time like Ebola. And I thought I was going to be actually a professional soccer player.
Sure.
But, you're
built for it. You're built for it.
Good genes. My dad was a soccer player. My dad had a soccer team 2 times in his lifetime. So it was during the 70s and in the 90s. So but that's what he did as an extramural type of thing, right? And my first goal, my first dream was that I thought I was gonna be a professional soccer player.
Sure.
When that didn't materialize, I had to now look at the ball differently. And sadly, until day, I kind of resent that because I felt like I wasted a bit of my time in this thing and it didn't materialize. But in hindsight, there's so much lessons that I have learned from football. And the discipline from coming from school and going to Ejimin, right? So I was never a kid that diploma ekonin. Because you was going to gym, you can't smoke. I couldn't smoke by then. I didn't even want to smoke because I wanted to.
It will affect your performance.
You get discipline from that, right? Being able to. I think it's what is important to being physically fit. Throughout, mostly you get natural dopamines and endorphins. So I eat things like depression as long as because I was always out. Udlala ibola uselangeni. Endlini noma bakuchikile, moya diskin you forget. And so I could cope. So this is me just in hindsight. Like as much as I now resent ibola, but ingibela nginceda into eningi. Azange to into when experimenting with certain things or get in a state of depression because you're always in the sun, you're always active, and push.
Sure.
So it's like you're in 2 worlds type of thing.
And then you work for retail.
Yes, sir.
And I love your story, man. So here you are, you're telling me about the streets and what the streets taught you about self-management, right? And now you go and work in retail, right? And while you're there, it opens you up to what you're doing now.
Yes, sir.
What did you see while you were there that made you say, I don't belong here?
Limitations when I was working retail. But what I've learned in retail, because I wanted to be a fashion designer. This is just realizing after go to Soweto is not going to be a thing. Right. I wanna and I always get compliments. Even on Service Day, I used to actually. I'd be more excited to school in on a Friday.
Because the CVs,
right? And I'd get more compliments on that. And I knew there's something around fashion. But I couldn't study. I couldn't go to Verts. Whether it be credentials army and the finances, I didn't have that. So the next best thing would be working in retail. And working in retail opened me up to other careers like being a stylist. Because you learn about customer service, which is quite essential right now. You need to be able to.
That's right.
You need to be.
That's right.
So interpersonal skills, that's quite essential if it's uthengisa, and it's important as out in ukwazi ukuthengisa any life in. Noma ukuthi izinto zashuka, but uyakwazi ukuthi uthengise. When uphelelwa ispan, and I'm gonna break that because there was a time when I moved, so I worked in retail, then I worked in a call center environment. But throughout working in call center, I used to sell, for fun. Not realizing that in the future this thing is
but so things are boot.
Before I had a car.
That the concept of things are boot.
So being paisa say so I'd approach out when I would attend the style. Sisters attend the and I'd approach and sell and I used to sell bags, I used to sell shoes, even in high school.
Yes,
because I still love brands. I loved Impatla. And we couldn't afford. So we had to find a solution. So what I would do with a homie of mine who actually inducted me in the streets, Umbali, and would on a Saturday, if we're gonna game it on a Saturday, if we were not playing, we'd then go to the town Selby, we'd go to Woodmeat, we'd go to a Cresta. There would be outlets equal. They would get merch on a discount. Then with that profit, then buy what I want. So I say the entrepreneurial spirit kind of started there.
Wow, man. You also talk about the stylish man in your life being your dad?
One of the stylish men, yeah.
One of?
Yeah.
There's more?
So I've got uncles. Abo put back and they were stylish. Abo bamkhulu.
Where are they from? Don't lose a trail of but I just want to know their origins. Where are they from? Because you know, Soweto, we all come from somewhere.
Yeah. Natali Washbangi. It's a rural area.
Yeah.
But they were really style conscious. And I remember just going there and they had weird, well, not weird, but my hairstyles are quite similar to mine.
Yeah. Eccentric,
they just enjoyed dressing up because they would have a lot of pictures. And, you know, that's what used to really grab me.
Yeah.
Manglap. You'd share stories, I'd hear their stories and how they used to compete. So my dad used to compete with his brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even on the maternal side of things, my uncles, my cousin, bantwana baga mamkhulu wami.
Yeah.
They live in Orlando West, Beverly Hills. So you can imagine Beverly Hills in the 90s and a little kid. It's a cheesy, it's a suburb, right?
Yeah.
And they had access to brands that we couldn't afford.
Yeah.
So just being there, observing Sister Lam, Sis Bongseni, you'd hear you'd know good issues around just by the scent of a perfume.
What?
You're eating Agnes. So I was quite exposed to that at an early age, whether it be high quality garments, brands, and in style from both sides.
But I'm sure there was a day we were joined one or two lapendlini ufuna ukubonisa ngama CV days.
I used to do that. If I had a brother, so I have two sisters.
Okay.
And Ulindi, this is in the 90s. Lindy, she was the oldest.
Yeah.
She loved his style and she used to wear amapolina, abokave.
Yeah.
So when she's not around, being tatang or in tata, what I'll do is I think faga esquamin some spawn. Then I figure escolin. Then but which is Ipolina was like a unisex type of cake.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to raid even Nomkhuluami later on. I used to raid his old drop.
Yeah.
Looking for vintage pieces because there's stuff that you couldn't get in retail even right now.
Yes.
If you're looking for like a 60s shirt, you're not gonna find it.
That's why thrift shops are the best for that. Yeah. Isn't it amazing that the 90s is back? I mean, fashion-wise, we're in the 90s now.
It depends. It depends on where you are, what type of information or content you consume.
Okay.
Right. I love Asian culture.
Okay.
Right. Asian philosophy. So if you're looking into the East, they're in the future. They wear loose fitted garments.
That's right.
And I do acknowledge that. Go to the 90s. I am seeing it. It's like a throwback type of thing.
Yes.
I am seeing that, but at the same time, it depends on what you're consuming. Because the 60s still, the 1940s, the high-waisted pants.
Yes.
Guys tucked in with golf shirts.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you're consuming right now. And I think this is the beauty with the internet. Back then you just be dependent on few media
and magazines
and they'll show you what they're exposed to.
Yes.
So right now it's about
you can see the world.
If you want to go, if you're more Afrocentric, you would go to Ghana or Nigeria. So it really depends on what you're consuming.
You chose Mandoza Hope. Why?
Let track for my articles. Because I understand how it is. There was a time now where I felt like being Sebum Nyameni, I felt like I was going through a struggle. And now I know better in hindsight. Guti, I was being prepared. I was being schooling, but it's just a conversation with Nama Auti, or even in my sisters, right? If you feel like you in that dark time, just know that you are being prepared. Also, schooling, ask God, ask the universe, Guti, what is it teaching you? This moment right now, where you feel like in a state of lack, what is it that you need to get to pumel up? What is this space really teaching you?
Yeah.
And that's what I learned.
So you're saying even when you're in the cloud, you still look up?
It's important. It's important because there's a reason why there's that dark cloud in your life at that time. And you need to realize that it's so masak figukanya was already for that. When things align, will you be ready for that? Because eventually unkumuntu isn't align. But Mazga align, what are you doing? How are you preparing yourself?
I'm tempted to ask, when you are going through this dark cloud that you were in before everything else just opened up for you, who are you going to? Because Konum Dum Khalelai.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm fortunate enough because my mom introduced me to Inkonzo at an early age. All right, so I'd go back to verses. I know there's a passage or a verse to go Matthew, that talks about do not worry, because the anxiety being cool. I've just bought. There was a time where I bought my couches for Indian Gate, and I lost my job in retail. So it's first time, and I don't know what was in abortion. I was still young. I got to myself, and I just realizing, dude, no, just call them and make a payment arrangement.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that there was when I wasn't working. So just to give clear context, right? In 2010, when I lost the contract, or when the contract ended in 2010, I told myself that I'm going to pursue this thing, because I always get compliments about the way like I said, since primary.
Yes.
And there's a friend of mine, Utsepo, from Protea Clan. He was like, dude, why I push Lendia fashion? Like, dude, but I didn't study fashion. So I think to when there was Shanga corner, you could literally buy Ngobia Tingisa, you can just forget Tegia, people will buy that. So
because it's you.
Yeah. And he kept saying that over the years, and I then chose, which hasn't actually. I hear him. That's
right.
Like,
that's right.
So I'm going to do this. And I remember saying, it's either I'm stupid or really brave.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I'm not going to send a CV anymore. This is a thing that I'm going to pursue. And if it works, it will. If it doesn't, well, I tried.
You tried, yeah.
Yeah, and I did that. So from 2010, that's when I started building Boys of Soweto. But before Boys of Soweto, the entry thing was, I realized that, okay, I am good with this thing.
Yeah.
I've got the style, I've got the taste, let me be a stylist. How do I then go about it? Did research, I did some test online, a passer, and I started creating a portfolio. This is pre-Instagram, this is pre-Twitter.
Sure.
It's Facebook. We only have Facebook. I think Facebook and BBM.
Yeah.
Then I used one of my photo album, I just termed it portfolio.
Yeah.
I used to take pictures of myself, self-style, self-portrait, and I started asking my friends, I'll take pictures of you, and this is just going to be for my portfolio.
Yeah.
And I did that. So whilst doing that, then we discovered the Tumblr. Which there's this now online, there's now, so blogging became a thing, right? And I was selling in Batla. So I have this long friend, or a homeboy of mine, Umbali.
Yeah.
We're selling clothes. He's studying law, but we're selling clothes just for survival. Whilst we were doing that, it's a thrifter, second-hand clothes, garments like rejected garments, all this stuff. Like, let's just coin ourselves. Let's find a way to, package this thing.
Yes.
And then the message in so we were trying to tell a positive story and at the same time inspire.
Yes.
Stand the style, and I would go to my fashion week and not be inspired. Like, let's do this thing.
Whoa. You would go to a fashion week and you were left there not inspired because they're not talking to you. They're not hitting that part, which therefore says to you there's a gap here.
Yeah. And
hold on there. Hold that thought, because that for me is a very powerful thing. Because sometimes we want things, but we don't spend enough time investing in seeing what the world is offering, therefore meaning research, right? To see a gap. Because without a gap, why are you in this thing? Why should even people support it if you don't know where the gap is? That's powerful. Oh man, we're having a conversation even off air. This is Rafael Sadiq, still Ray. You say, Rafael Ipojo.
Yes, sir. If you look at his aesthetics, it does scream Ibojwa, and his style of music, the taste, and how versatile he is.
Yeah.
I'd see him as a guy, if we make us, he would be Ibojwa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And iconic.
Yeah.
Timeless.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can't put him in a category of time and you think he'll stay there. He's just like that, forever relevant, right?
Yes, sir.
So you say you go to Fashion Week, you spot this. By the way, I'm talking to Bob the Stylist, if you don't know. Ubo Wekai.
Yes, sir.
This is the man behind Boys of Soweto. Yes, the brand. That's right. Celebrating him, celebrating the brand. And of course, it's always nice when you hear the story behind it. So you go, you see this, you say to Tsepo, Mfit, there's a gap.
Umbali,
yeah.
That's a homie of mine. Utsepo was a guy who's encouraging me all the time.
Yes.
Now Utsepo now is his own genius,
Yeah.
like, do this thing. not shop. Then I started pursuing it. And Umbali, because we were selling impahla, but not just impahla, anything that we could, not anything, well, it was impahla and cell phones and laptops. So because you're unemployed, so you need to find ways to support Indlin. And then we did that. So whilst doing that, sales Gapa, like, that's where some might as well just capture ourselves, and we had to come up with a name, and I said Boys of Soweto, because we are from a Soweto.
Sure.
And that was when the blogging phase started, which was 2010 until like 2015. And when say Instagram took over, we kind of moved from that. But say 2015, because we now Boys of Soweto, we creating content, right, which is beautiful. We're creating content. We're collaborating with brands. We're collaborating with international brands. We did a campaign with the Palladium, and we were Palladium Boots. They selected 10 influencers, if I'm not mistaken, globally. And we were part of the crew that was selected in South Africa. And we were against guys like Abo, Daily Paper. This is before they had the actual brand. They were like influencers as well. I think they were involved in music, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right,
we did that. Work with Ben Sherman. From then it was, now we appearing in magazines, GQ magazine and whatnot. I'm now seeing, the future. This is where we can go. And have a chat with the homies, 3 of us. Like, Fitch, let's register the brand. Let's do this. Just plan. And maybe they couldn't see the vision, right? And it kind of died down. Because namendlini bangrasele, right? As much as I'm pushing this passion, I'm trying to in the fashion industry, but endlini bamele kenzalana impilo yakho. Used to wear amasuit, khona manje uzendlini uphethe impahla zabantu abashonile, like second-hand clothes bashonja. And there was a meeting. My sister, Bangbiza, and I think my cousins were there as well. It's now 3 years. So I had suits. I used to collect suits. Right? I had suits. Because there was just a lot. I think I had like 200 suits that I was selling. And like you should be fine. And it's the concern. Right?
But it's coming from a good place.
But at the same time, I'm like, because I am trying, I should be driving big cars. I'm like, because I was interning, but I get it now. It's something that they were seeing, but the reality being here could be, because I had to still put in more work, right? And with time, as I was working, and they would see my results. Now is the face of Guma comes. Now is the face of Hennessy. They started believing it. They started seeing it.
They started seeing why you were taking time in doing this. And it's not like it was out of choice. It was just like God's timing, right?
And I had to go through that, but while I was doing that, the blogging phase kind of died down, and the Boys of Soweto, the blog, died down, right? And I spoke to the guys, and I realized we were just not in sync when it comes to that. They loved it from a different level, and I want to take it to a next level, but they were just not there. And I understand right now, they had their own careers, they had their own dreams, right? And this was a vision that was given to me, and I wanted to share it, and which at that time it was painful, because I'd see them moving, see them getting apartments, getting houses, and like I was like, okay, then whilst mangiyega, I didn't just stop Boys of Soweto, but I then started Amasut. And the funny story about Amasut, how I got to Suits by Bob the Stylist, was that from a call center, we were thrifting, right? I in a suit whilst thrifting, and when we used to sell like casual clothes, but this suit caught my attention. Started then collecting a suit with no really deeper reason as to why. But it was just the gut feeling, like, collect these suits, right? And then shooting out. Then I started getting customers. But it wasn't an intentional thing, because I just loved them. And the fabric that you couldn't access Guma shop. It's quite, because when you thrift back then, you get high-end brands. So I started selling suits. From selling suits, I think this was 2014. The Boys of Soweto is still playing in my mind. Nomanglala, Young Force, Then I resurrected the Boys of Soweto. And when I came back on the Boys of Soweto, I did a collaboration with Falky. We made socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made socks.
The sock brand, yeah.
Yeah, we made a sock, Boys of Soweto times Falke, and it was inspired by Abantu hieroglyphics. That's when Boys of Soweto came back.
Yeah.
Right, I then did a bit of consulting. Then 2000, say, and I would drop occasionally whilst working because I'm now doing a lot. I'm styling, creating content. There's Suits by Bob the Stylist, and this is purely for survival and pushing the dream.
Sure.
Right? Then 2020, COVID hit because I would drop teas here and there.
Yeah.
Then I centered my attention on just the Boys of Soweto. I took that Henry. I remember I mentioned the brand the alcohol brand, which is Hennessy.
Yeah.
I took a bit of that money and I put on a brand. And I remember, if they say I blew it, I know at least I blew it on something meaningful for me.
Yeah.
And from then on, it just built to another.
What is success without risk, though?
True.
Sure.
Yeah. So I used to sell now, and so now I had a car, right? So I used to sell Boys of Soweto t-shirts, hoodies, Ebutin. So I'll drop off 2020, 2021. I was busy just dropping the garments off, whether it be Randburg, Soweto, Midrand. I'm just dropping isn't off, and I'll take that money, that profit, and we sell it back to the business.
Yeah.
Maybe we're back to the business. And there's a lady that assisted me. Company they were offering a grant. I think this was now 2021.
Yeah,
they were offering a grant. Like I've been seeing what you're doing on social media, and I really like what you're doing. And so I'd need you to fill in a couple of forms. When she said they didn't send a DM, like, hey, this is a scam. And she came back again. I think after a week.
Yeah.
Give me a context. Spoke to her. I did that. Plus, I just straight with far as the financial side of things.
Yeah.
And I had my financials. I'm registered with SARS and all that stuff. I'm sending her corner. She gave me the grant. I think she gave me. So you grant corner. You are required to produce T-shirts for this company. Right. I did those T-shirts. Then they paid me that 40K. 40K. I remember I was on a Hennessy billboard, but I'm driving a Polo. Man, it's not matching. I'm driving an old Polo. It's not matching. So going shy. And then I remember Tando, at Malume, you're all over Africa, but I'm like, ish man, if in my mind was like, if only you knew. And I was consuming a lot of information on just financial literacy.
Good.
And then I told him, I'm going to put on my brand, and my brand will then buy me a car.
That's right.
And I worked on that. It was an easy thing. It was a painful experience to say. It was a painful experience where we was born, and because I had that 40. If I sell this car, I'll maybe my 18 and buy a car, and I could do that.
Yeah.
But still, once you have the car, what are you gonna get? It's
the dream needs to be bigger, man.
You'll get like social acceptance, and you'll probably get girls, and then what? So those sacrifices that I had to make. I couldn't go to my events.
You remind me of something that I read the other day. I'm paraphrasing.
Okay.
And which is exactly you are the example. Basically, the book talks about what you just went through now. They say the gap between saving your money and spending it, right, is pride. So that pride, you were able to control it because your pride, your ego, in other words, would have said, let's buy the car.
Sure.
But you were saying no. Hence they say, when you have the gap or that moment where you need to say, I need to save, it can only be stopped by your ego. Because ego says, I want to be happy now.
Yeah. Instant gratification.
That's right.
Pure.
As opposed to, let's save this money for later. This is Bob the Stylist.
Yes, sir.
This is Bob the Stylist. I think there's a master class here. All right, Bob the Stylist is here. It's 10 minutes before 11. Time is flying by. Oh, man, I haven't even asked half of what I wanted to ask, but listen, I am learning at the same time. I'm from Tembisa. Why should I wear Boys of Soweto?
I get this question often, and there's many ways of answering it. Right?
Thank you.
First of all, I've seen people wearing NW baseball hats, baseball caps, and NW, New York, Zoo York. I've seen that the LA tees, LA caps. and understand what they're buying to. And most of the
Milan,
time,
Italy.
yeah, and I know they've never been there, but they aspire, But Langa Corner, Boys of Soweto is a state of mind that can conjure an idea into reality, a mindset where you constantly working towards manifesting your idea and the dream into existence. That's what Boys of Soweto is. It's a state of mind. Yeah. So you're buying into that. You don't have to be from Soweto, but it's a mindset that you need to have, or it's a mindset that you're in already.
The reason you bought New York, the reason you bought Milan, the reason you bought Italy is because you like what they were doing.
Yeah.
And you believed there's something in there that resonated with you, and it's definitely there with Boys of Soweto too.
I mean, there's so many great artists, political leaders, athletes that come from Soweto from the 1940s till date. So
and if you think about it, Soweto is actually the United Nations of South Africa, right? Every township is.
Everyone is from Soweto.
Yeah. And in fact, because if you think about it, we all came here, if you go back to the genesis of who we are, because of economic opportunities.
Yeah.
So if you're rejecting it, you're actually rejecting yourself in a way.
True.
Right?
I mean,
every township, every so-called location, it is called that purely because that's where people were located for labor.
Yeah.
Mindset.
It is mindset. It's a state of mind that you're buying into.
I love that.
You stand for knowledge of self and self-determination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're proud.
Yes, sir.
Imagine wearing this in New York.
And then the goal is to really dignify black people through garments.
Wearing your own.
Yeah. You have to.
Isn't it an amazing feeling to wear your own?
And it's time, And when I'm seeing it, and I think we're in a beautiful time right now, a beautiful era where car customers are consciously buying local brands.
I love it.
Because that's
what a time to be alive.
We can grow as a people and show the greatness that we have, right? I think it's a great time, but there's still more. I think that we need to invest on educating our consumers about buying local brands. It's quite essential.
That's part 2 of what we'll do next in the future.
Okay.
Summer is here. Boys of Soweto online. Is there something for us there?
So this week we'll be dropping our golf shirts. This is a new design.
Is that what you're wearing?
Yes, sir. This is our new design, locally made. It's made from cotton, so it's pure cotton. It's beautiful. You can wear this no makshis. So this is our new offering. And later, month end, we have T-shirts. I'm dropping a limit. It's going to be a limited drop. It's T-shirts. It's going to be cardigans. It's just a lot of offering stuff that I haven't dropped before.
Man, asikhulume ngalama exclusive ke ngazusungubambile wena webop ngoba sola. Lesuthe egqoka uLamizi noKhuli channel yana yona sithola about him.
Ayatholakala Bram.
Ayinhle riding.
It's ready to wear. Thank you, sir. It's ready to wear. We had few. I think we left with 5 if I'm not mistaken.
That thing is gorgeous. And it's unisex, né? Or you've made for ladies.
So, the way we design our garments, ladies gravitate towards them as well. So I would say it's unisex, but we design because we're to design for men, right?
Yeah.
But women see themselves in them as well, and it's just a mind-boggling thing that most our consumers, Mangpege, just on social media, are ladies, which is a beautiful thing.
You're also available at We Are Egg.
We're Egg in Rosebank, the zone.
So Bram, We Are Egg, and online.
Yes,
Give
sir.
us that the online store website again.
So the link is on our Instagram page.
Oh, perfect.
It's on our Instagram page.
So just go to Boys of Soweto on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Man, thank you for being here.
Bonga for summoning me.
Because I've been chasing for years, man. Trying to get you here, and I'm glad finally we get to sit and, chat. Because for me, your story is very powerful. And it's worth to be told more and more and more. Hence, I'm saying this door is open, my brother. Every time you want to share some more about where you're going and what you want to do, please, just holla. Bonga tin. And usibingelele nasekhaya, usibongele futhi ukuthi Hey, bangakupheleli man inhliziyo man. Because we couldn't be sitting here today had they thrown a towel at you, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So man, God bless and keep shining, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
Guys and ladies, Bob the Stylist.